Hey, welcome back. So today I'm going to show you how you can create your own local AI agent that you can run within the Z editor or any code editor that supports ACP, Agent Client Protocol, in about 15 lines of code. If you've never used Z before, you can check it out on z.dev. It is a pretty cool editor. It's natively written in Rust and it is super fast. So to get started, I've got this empty directory here and I'm just going to open up Z, and you can see that I've got no files open within this. Now the key part of Z here is there is an agent panel. So if I click on there and I click on the plus here, you can see I have access to various agents. So as I said, out of the box, you have access to things like Gemini or even Claude Code. So if I click on Claude Code for a second and I type in hi, and you can see, hi, how can I help you? And we'll say create a Fibonacci function. And I'm interacting within the VS Code editor with Claude Code. And in this sense, Claude Code is acting as a super agent. And you see there, create Fibonacci function. Now, the key thing about this here, you can see that Claude Code is wanting access to the file system. And that is the big thing that ACP as a client protocol solves, which is different from something like MCP. So MCP allows you to call tools to make remote execution of tools, whereas ACP or Agent Client Protocol is about being able to communicate with agents. So in this case, Claude Code is the agent. It's external to the VS Code editor. Before ACP, agents were typically held within the executing environment, whether it's VS Code, Copilot, or even Claude Code itself. In this case, the agent is sitting outside and the ACP communication protocol is allowing you to communicate with that external agent. And in this case, it is Claude Code and it has access to things like write, etc. But the big difference between something like ACP and MCP is that you are able to share your file system and be able to have that shared collaboration, that shared workspace, and also have access to the terminal. And that is the key thing that is kind of going on here. So you see I've created this Claude Code, and that's super simple to get started. But as I said, I'm going to give you access to your own custom agent frameworks. And it is super simple to do. So what we are going to do here is we're going to click on plus again. And you see I've created 2 agents out of the box. I will show you how you can create these agents for yourself, and then we'll go a little bit into the protocol. So the first one is this echo agent. So if I click on that, this is a custom agent that I created. And if I type in hi, you can see straight away it says echo hi. So it's just echoing back what I put in. But I can equally access AI agents and create my own super agents. And that could be things like LangChain, it could be LangGraph, it could be Crew AI. I can put anything I want within there or my own custom agent framework. So if I click on new LLM agent, in this case, it's going to make a simple LLM call and it's going to talk to GPT-5 mini. So if I just say something like write a Fibonacci function in Python. Now in this case, I haven't given access to the file system or tools, but if I wanted to do that, I would be able to do that, and then it would go into the file system. But you can see there, right, a Fibonacci function, and it's done. Super simple. So to do that, we are going to create an agent for ourselves. I'm going to use UV from Astral. You can go download that. We use it in tons of other videos. Super simple. So I'm going to do a UV init to create myself a new project. In this case, it's going to be called acp-record. And then I'm going to add, I created a library framework to make this a little bit easier, called Chuck ACP agent. So I'm going to add that as my dependency. That is now in there, and I'm going to create a file called echo_agent.py. Now technically I should do this in Z. You know, we are being Z users, but I am going to use VS Code just for it to be a little bit standard. So you see there's all of my files. There's Echo Agent. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to very quickly put in my Echo Agent class. So you see here from Chuck ACP Agent, import agent and a context. And then all I've got is a class Echo Agent, which is going to inherit from my agent base class, which is part of that framework. And then I can set my agent name. So in this case, local agent. And then all I need to do is I have this on prompt method here. And then I'm just going to yield back. So you see I'm accepting in a prompt string. And then I'm just going to yield back echo. So it's going to say echo and whatever the prompt is. really is like super small amount of lines of code there, like 15 lines of code or something like that. Now that I've built that, if I want to test it with the ACP protocol, I do have a little ACP protocol library, and it has a little test harness where you can run it. So if I do UVX chuck-acp, which is my protocol library for ACP, and I type in uv run echo underscore agent.py, and then you can see here little interactive thing there, and I can just say hi, and then it comes back agent echo hi. Now if I want to, it does also have a ability to pass in a prompt, so I'm going to say prompt hi, and then you can see there echo hi. So that is an ACP client. So think of chuck ACP as the equivalent of Z in this case. So it is acting as the client, and then I'm passing in the script I want it to run, which is my echo agent. So that is the piece of code that we just wrote here. That is literally what it's running. So it's just doing a uv run echo agent, and I'm passing in that prompt, and then it's going to execute that on prompt there. So it's as simple as that. So with that working, we now know that it's going to work with Z. Okay, so now what we will do is we're going to open up Z. So notice I'm in the Chris Source ACP record folder. At the moment, I have my echoagent.py there. So I'm just going to open up a Z. And then in Z, I'm going to go to settings, open settings. And then you see here, there's an agent configuration. So this is the key thing that we want. So I'm going to click edit in settings.json. And now I can add in any agent that I want to talk to within here. So I'll just put a comma, and then I'm going to add agent servers, and then you can see echo agent, and the command is going to be UV, and then the arguments are going to be run minus directory, and then I'm going to pass it to my ACP record directory, the directory you just saw. And then I'm going to put Python there, but I could just do UV and then run. Doesn't really matter which one I use there. So it's now going to run that echo agent. So if I quit Z, so now if I open up Z one more time, and then I'm going to go into this agent panel here, I'm going to click on the new thread, and then you can see new echo agent thread is there. So if I click on that, and then I type in hi, you can see it is echoing there. It is literally that simple to configure it within Z. Now, if you're curious of what's going on from a kind of protocol level, and we'll look at our agent in a second, one of the things I can do with here is I can go into the command palette. So I click on command palette, and then if I type in dev:/open ACP logs, now I can see the communication that's going back and forward between Z and my server that I created. So I am going to select my echo agent, and then you see straight away, you see it's done this initialize, and it's protocol version 1 client capabilities. It's saying what capabilities it has. So it says it's going to give you access to read text, write files, going to give you access to terminal. And then my local agent will tell it what capabilities it has. So you can see it's only got access to ask and code. It's not giving you access to terminals, etc. So if I had made a more complicated agent, I could say it can deal with terminals and etc. But I haven't in this case. And then you can see there, it's then going to say, okay, I'm going to open up a new session. It passes in its working directory, which is my current directory there. It also passes in any MCP servers that it may use. Now, Z has the ability to configure MCP servers within here. So I could actually go and configure a bunch of MCP servers. And if I did, those MCP servers would be passed as part of that session. And then my client, my agent is able to use them. Of course, my agent can create its own MCP servers and do whatever it wants as well. But if I want to use the MCP servers that come part of the ecosystem, then I can push them into my agent's user, and then it's created a session ID. So now if I type in hi, you can see now session prompt. So Z has said, okay, I'm going to pass in session ID blah, and it's passing in a prompt, and that text is hi. And then you can see my agent there is saying, okay, I'm doing an update, session update, and I'm sending back echo hi. And then eventually it will also say end of turn. Now, if I go to agentclientprotocol.com overview introduction, and then we go into the protocol section, you can see exactly what we just saw in the Z logs there. There's client and agent, it sent the initialize, you get a response, it tells you the protocol version and all the capabilities, exactly what we saw there, and what the agent responses are going to be. You see the session setup, so it's creating a session, it tells you what MCP service and all that it's going to have. And then eventually here is the prompt turn. So, I send a prompt, the agent processes it, sends it back. And then eventually, once it's done, it will say the final prompt response, which is end of turn. Now, of course, you could cancel the prompt midway through, and that would be okay as well. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that's in there. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but you can kind of see that it's a fairly powerful protocol. Now, what I'm going to do next is I am going to hook it up to my own LLM. To do that, I'm going to export an OpenAI API key. So I'll just do OpenAI API key. The reason I'm going to do that is, and then I would just put it in from platform.openai, but the reason I'm going to do that is I'm going to run this through my harness, and then we're going to run it through Z. In the case of Z, I don't need to set it in there because I'm going to do it as part of my configuration. So I will export this. You're not going to obviously see that because I'm going to edit that out. And now I'm going to create a new agent called LLM agent.py. So that is now created. I'm going to go into VS Code. We're going to open up LLM agent. So if we just look at this very quickly, you can see I'm importing OpenAI. Again, this is very similar to what we had before. I'm importing my Chuck ACP agent. There's my LLM agent. Again, I've given the name LLM agent in this case, so it's exactly the same as the Echo version. I'm going to just set my API key to whatever comes from the environment. Of course, that's going to get passed through from Z, or it's going to be passed through from the client. And then the on prompt, I'm just doing a quick check. If a prompt's not provided, it's going to yield back, please provide a prompt. And then all it's going to do is it's going to create an OpenAI client library there. And then I'm just using normal, OpenAI completions in this case. I'm not using responses, but you could use responses. The model I'm using is GPT-5 Mini. I'm setting a system prompt as your helpful AI coding assistant. And then for the user prompt, I'm just passing in the prompt that was passed in there. I'm using streaming, so I'm going to stream back chunks. This is going to be super useful because you can be able to do things like progress, etc. And then I'm just going to stream back the response back to the client, yielding the content. So if I just save that, all I need to do is do a UV add OpenAI, so it's installed. And now if I, just like I did before, if I do a UVX Chuck ACP client, I could equally skip the client. It smart detects that and do UV run LLM agent.py. And then if I just say hi, you are going to see that it now works. Hi, how can I help you today? So we know that this works within the interactive agent. And then that means I can now come back into Z. And again, I'm just gonna open settings in Z here. I'm gonna select on AI, we'll edit in settings. And then I'm just gonna take that Echo agent that we created 2 seconds ago. I'm gonna put a comma, and then I'm just gonna call it LLM agent. And then rather than passing Echo agent, I'm just gonna pass LLM agent. It really is as simple as that. We're going to kill Z, and then I'm going to open up Z one more time. And now what we should say here is if I come back into client mode, and then you can see new LLM agent thread is available. I will select in that, and I will say hi or hey. And now it's gone off to my agent, and you can see hi, how can I help you, etc. If I wanted to, let's do one more thread on this. We'll do the command palette. We'll open up the logs and we'll say create a Fibonacci function in Python. And there you can go. And it's going crazy, right? Because it's literally sending it chunk by chunk. So you can see it's just around zoom, 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 zoom. And it's sending back all of the code that we wanted there. Fairly quick. Again, if I gave it access to the file system as a capability or the terminal, then it would be able to put that directly into the files, and that's the key thing for ACP. So pretty simple. I did promise you that we would also be able to connect to other agents. So I'm going to connect it up to the kimi K2 thinking model. So if I wanted to, I could just do the exact same thing here. Now I have installed the kimi K2 CLI, so you can just go Google that, install that on your machine. You'll need to sign up and get an API key, but that is fine. But if I run this for a second, you see if I run Kimi on my machine, I'm connected up there, and you see I'm connected up into kimi K2 Thinking Turbo at the moment. If I type in hi, for example, it is going to come back and speak to it. Again, if you do /setup, you can choose whether you want to speak to the Moonshot AI open platform, which is what I'm connected there, or it could be Kimi for coding if you have a subscription, whatever. So we know that's working now, so we're going to exit out of here. And then just like before, I'm going to do a UVX chuck ACP because Kimi's CLI has the ability to speak ACP natively. So I can just do client, and then I can do --, and then I'm going to say Kimi because I want it to execute Kimi. The reason I'm doing a --, is I'm wanting any parameters that I'm sending, I want it to go to Kimi. And then Kimi supports the --, ACP. So that will put it in ACP mode, same way as my agents were running in ACP. And if we run that, you can see if I go hi, and now I am speaking to the Kimi K2 thinking model exactly in the same way. This is a cool protocol, right? Because the agents are separated from the clients. In the same way as I could go in Z or in JetBrains and chat to these agents. Kimi's a completely separate super agent, right? But it's running over there. But in this case, I can connect my client, which knows the ACP protocol, and it can go and talk to it. So let's just prove that for a second. We're going to go back into Z one more time. Again, I'm going to go into settings, and I'm going to open settings. And then I am going to select here AI one more time. We'll edit in settings.json. And in this case, I want to give it access to the Kimi model. So I'm going to copy this one more time. And then this time, I'm going to just put my LLM agent as Kimi. And then the command this time is just going to be Kimi. And then I don't need all of these arguments here. I just need --, ACP. I can save that. We will exit out of Z. We'll come back in one more time. Now, if I come back into my agent panel, click on my new threads, you can see new Kimi thread, and then I can just say hi, and there we go. I'm now talking to the Kimi model, and I'm just going to say write me a Fibonacci function in Python. And again, as you can see there, because it knows how to speak to file system, it's getting access to the write file tool, and then it's asking for approval to write the file there. So if I approved that, it would go and create that within my folder, and I can interact with that, and that is good. Again, all I would need to do on my agent is just give it a ability to access the file system, and it would be able to do the exact same thing. So again, you can go check out the GitHub repo to do that. So hopefully this is useful to you. I hope you get the power of this, that ACP has this ability to separate the agents from the UI editor. Now, in this case, we're using coding editors, but of course it could apply to anything. It could be CLIs, it could be audio editors, it could be video editors. It doesn't really matter in that sense, but more importantly, it also has access to things like MCP tooling, etc. It has access to the file system, it has access to the terminal, so it allows you to build these super agents. So you can build your own custom agents, whether it's LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, or your own custom agent, or you can bring in super agents like Claude Code, Kimi, etc. within the environment. I think this is a super powerful concept. I think there's more stuff that's going to be useful. I will post the links for the library so that you can go and create your own agents for yourself. And hopefully this has been useful, and hopefully you will have fun checking out Agent Client Protocol.